Yes, let's go. So, hello everyone. My name is Olivier Aubert. I'm happy to be there.
Just a second. Can you
Yeah, okay.
go better? Where I'm here. Okay, everything's fine. Good luck.
It's fine. So I'm from France, from Nantes, and I'm research engineer and currently freelance consulting for research projects. And I'm going to talk to you today about the video software I developed, which is called Advene, which is a video annotation software, and how it's been used recently, because it's a software which has some history already, but it still has some uses and actuality. So I will present two use cases, two usage of the application, so recent. So since it's a lightning talk, I will be quick on the project itself, and then talk about the two examples, which are the remind method application, which is a museology investigation method, and the ADA project, which is a media studies project with the Berlin. So Advene, it's a project which started in 2002, so that's rather old, with Yannick Prier and Pierre-Antoine Champagne, University of Lyon. And we wanted to provide tooling for accompanying active reading of audiovisual documents. And so active reading is the possibility for a user to immerse himself in a document, to take notes, and to structure, to have a scholarship workflow based on his annotation on the document, so to accompany reflections on of the document. So the goal is to create, share analysis of audiovisual documents as things that we call hyper videos, basically a mix of annotations and video. It's a free software, so the project itself gave birth to a concrete artifact, which is an application, the Advene application, which is a free software, GPL, cross-platform desktop application using Python, GTK, and GStreamer. It's been used in different contexts, but I will talk about just two today. Quickly, the interface is rather common. It's centered around a video. Can I show that? Yes. There's a video player here, which is always there, and then around the video player, you have multiple places, which we call. I don't know the name we use. Places for different views for interacting with the metadata. So you put metadata. For instance, here I've got below the video a view which is a timeline view, which is rather common in audiovisual annotation domain or audiovisual manipulation. On the right, you've got the same data, which is presented in a different way. It's as a transcription, with time codes presented as this kind of thumbnails on the video. And then on the right, you've got an output of the process. So this is the first two views are the kind of tools. There are multiple other views, but these two views are the kind of tools that you're using in your process, in your Scholar process of exploring the content and constructing your analysis. And this on the right can be seen as the output of the process. So Advene tries to be a tool that you can use throughout the whole process, from structuring, analyzing to producing outputs here. And we'll see how it goes. So basically, the important notion to take from this figure is the black rectangle that surrounds the annotation structure, the annotations themselves, the annotation structure, which is user-defined, and the different views, templates, and queries that are all put in the single package, which is the unit, the documentary unit that you can exchange independently from the video. So the video is on the side. It's metadata about the video. We tackled different scientific challenges in this, so knowledge engineering, document engineering, HCI, and also data visualization and the analysis of activity traces. So that was for the scientific part. We were interested as researchers. And then I'll go through two use cases in digital humanities. So they're recent. The first one dates from 4 years ago, and the other one is from 2017. So Remind method is a project done by Daniel Schmidt, which now is professor at University of Valenciennes. And the goal was to study the museum visitors' experience during a visit. And through the methodology used video-based auto-consultation. So the visitors were equipped during an exhibit with a camera on glasses to capture a subjective view of their visit, of their experience. And after the visit, they were interviewed by a researcher based on the video of the visit. And then this interview was captured. And this is the primary material, so the capture of the interview that was used in Advene to be analyzed by the researchers. They transcribed the interview using Advene. They identified, so they had different categories in their methodology, so they could identify the different categories. And they used relations to express, so courses of experience. So that's basically a group of categories that form a unit, a meaningful unit for the researchers, for the methodology. So the underlying structure in Advene provided the support for expressing this kind of information. And then they could generate visualization through templates. So these visualizations, they used them for their analysis during their exploratory analysis, and then they could also put them on a website afterwards as a kind of publishing. So this is what it gives basically. So you've got on your left you've got the Advene application with the timeline, the transcription, and so on. You see different lines here that correspond to the different categories of analysis. So the identified categories in the discourse, in the interview. And then here you've got on the right what you can find, one of the views that is produced by the tool directly through a template system that is available on museography.fr website. So this was the first example. So I've got to be quick, but if you have questions, I'm here today and tomorrow. So the other example is the ADA project, which is carried out in a collaboration with the Cinepoetics team in Freie Universität Berlin and the HPI in Potsdam. So Cinepoetics is doing media studies, so they're the final users. HPI is about, they have an expertise, a good expertise in video analysis, so feature extraction and so on. And we brought our expertise in video annotation, manipulation, interaction, and so on. And so the goal of the project was to study the staging patterns in the audiovisual representations of the financial crisis. So they wanted to know if there are patterns that always come again and again when this is presented in documentaries, in feature movies, or in TV broadcasts. And for this, they wanted to apply quantitative methods. So systematically annotate movies, and then dig into this data, this metadata they produced, to see for themselves if there are things interesting to dig in, and then also to provide a ground truth. I think I said my next slide. Yes, to build a ground truth for future automation of the system. So we wanted to build some feature extraction specific for the task, and we needed data for this. So Advene provided the bridge between these issues. So the idea was to optimize the manual annotation process. So in order to be able to put students to work, so that the teams of students annotated movies, and to provide a bridge between the users' manipulation of the data and its semantic representation, because in the end with the HPI team they wanted to have semantic, so we produced an ontology, it was stored in a triple store and so on, so they wanted to have semantic data, but the users at the other hand didn't want to deal with semantic data. They wanted to deal, there were keywords or whatever. So the tool here is what bridges the gap between both sides. And so the application is the same. Basically, we did some adaptations and optimizations. And I don't have time for the process. So, yeah. I'll just say that Advene was used to produce an ontology. So you can find the ontology that was produced through Advene, through this kind of annotation structure definition that was carried out in Advene and then used to build the first ontology, bootstrap ontology, that was after used for over multiple iterations to refine the ontology. And since we now got multiple data, so the current news for the project is that we're still working together. The ADA project itself is not yet completely over, and we're working on data visualization. So we now have tens of thousands of annotations on movies, and so this raises questions of how to visualize them for the scholars, for the media studies scholars. So we're working on this. And oh yeah, just one point. This is free software which is developed for a long time, and the ADA project was the opportunity for me, just the first point of the developments for that project, to update code for adapting to new systems. So it's an old application which was Python 2, GTK2, and so on. I had to do an update to the new versions of these libraries, and I didn't have the time or opportunities. And this project was the opportunity. So do not hesitate to fund projects that may not be fit for you just right now, but may fit the task, but need some developments. And yes, contribute to the free software ecosystem by funding such projects so that we can advance the free software development. And so that's it. So through these two examples, I try to show you that this is a flexible, extensible, usable tool for digital humanities. And I'm available also for development or consulting for this. Thank you.
One short question.
Yes?
So thank you for this talk. I'm working in computer science, quantum humanities, and this still looks really interesting. Would you say that this is comparable to in vivo?
It's the same, yeah. The question is, yes, whether it's comparable to NVivo. So NVivo is one of the proprietary tools that are used in ethnography or ethnographic studies. This is comparable. It doesn't have the same features, obviously, because it's free software, but it's open. You can and basically fit the bill for many of the needs. So yes, definitely, this is comparable to NVivo. Thank you.
Take one more question. No.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.